Fullers. Doing laundry today might feel like quite the chore, but back in ancient Rome, it was one of the worst jobs one could have. This was a time long before Tide Pods, okay? Fullers in the Roman Empire had the brutal task of cleaning cloth, particularly wool. Now the process here was brutal. It involved using large quantities of human urine, large quantities of human piss. The large amounts of ammonia would remove grease and dirt. Also, who's collecting all that pee? That's what I want to know. Fullers often worked in foul-smelling conditions, obviously, and would handle unclean substances without protective gear. This job not only exposed them to unpleasant odors and substances, but also to various skin ailments. You could either do this job or you could be a latrine cleaner. That was a similar vibe. Just, piss everywhere, and you were responsible for directly handling all that human waste. Again, without any protective equipment. The role involved not only cleaning, but also clearing blockages and ensuring the smooth flow of Rome's extensive sewer system. Yikes, good luck clearing that blockage. See ya. Porters in Rome had to carry the heaviest loads over the longest distances, often through crowded urban environments or uneven terrains. Ancient Rome, they didn't build a lot of roads back then, a lot of stony roads, pretty uneven shit. A lot of broken ankles, no big deal. The physical toll of the job combined with long hours and low pay, and combined with the fact that, again, it's ancient Rome, well, this job sucked. Being a porter was a very tough way to make a living. Porters were subject to spinal and muscular injuries from the constant heavy lifting all day, every day. I carried groceries home for like 5 minutes and my arms are shaking for a week. There's no way I could be a porter in ancient Rome, no way. Arms are getting tired now just thinking about it. Number 8, tanner. Tanners had an exhausting job, and you would probably guess they too have to use urine as part of their job. Of course, piss everywhere, welcome to Rome. Tanners would process animal skins into leather, but they would also use chemicals like lime and animal urine to treat these skins. And the process, as one could imagine, would produce a horrendous stench. Tanning was a physically demanding job that required handling rotting animal hides, leading to a high risk of infection and disease. Tanners were often marginalized by society due to the horrendous nature of their work, which I find pretty messed up. Imagine looking down at the guy who has to make leather in ancient Rome. Fine, make your own pissy pants then. Good luck. Make your own armor. Number 7, gladiators. It's hard to talk about ancient Rome and not include these Goliaths, okay? While the life of a gladiator might seem thrilling in movies, also pretty good looking, that definitely helps, it was actually a brutal and often short-lived career in ancient Rome. See, most gladiators were slaves or prisoners of war, or they were condemned criminals forced to fight for public entertainment. They faced a high likelihood of death or severe injury in combat, and even if they survived, they lived under strict control with little personal freedom. Side note, Gladiator 2's coming out, so that'll be fun, I guess. Number 6, mine workers. Roman mine workers extracted valuable minerals such as silver, lead, and gold from deep underground, similar to the job we have today. These conditions in these mines were of course deplorable, with poor ventilation, intense heat, and the constant risk of collapses surely didn't help. Imagine that, this could cave in any moment. Okay, let's sign in. Miners, often slaves or prisoners, suffered from respiratory diseases and had a significantly reduced life expectancy due to these harsh working conditions. I think I'd rather do pee-pee laundry than work in any mine in any time period. Honestly, that's brutal. Even Minecraft. My cousin plays Minecraft. I'm like, so you just mine for minerals all day? That's your job? That's your fun job? Okay. Horrible. Number 5, executioners. Now, I'll start with saying, obviously, being on the other end of an executioner was probably the worst spot you could be in. For sure, having your life taken away in a public square because you stole a pear, it's not an ideal place to be in ancient Rome. However, I will say executioners, they also had a long day, okay? They got tired, they're human beings. They were hired to do a job, and, well, they did that job pretty intensely. Taking off all those heads, it's gotta be so tiring for your arms. These guys would carry out death sentences all day long, a necessary but dreaded role in the Roman society. They were often shunned by the public due to their nature of their work, more than fair, which would more often than not involve a high level of brutality, but there was also the stigma associated with death and killing in ancient Rome. It was pretty much everywhere, but we still didn't like it. Despite its importance to the justice system, this job carried a significant psychological burden. Yeah, you don't say. That and the piss laundry guy, they're like, whew, tell me about it, brother, what a day. Number 4, sewer worker. If you're eating while you're watching this video, maybe take a little bite break for a minute. Just put that to the side for a second. Awesome. Similar to latrine cleaners, sewer workers maintained the extensive network of sewers in Rome. And again, they worked in dark, cramped conditions that were filled with the city's waste. Just number 1 and number 2. Number all the numbers down there, all around you, breathing it in. Horrible. You just inhale disease and infections all day long. And back in ancient Rome, they didn't have any N95 masks, okay? You can just cover up and dive in. They just had a dirty piece of cloth partially covering their mouth while they did this job. Didn't do anything, it was horrible. The unpleasant odors and the physical difficulty of working in confined spaces made this job one of the worst. Probably the worst on the list, but we'll see. Number 3, animal handler. Handling wild beasts in ancient Rome. Wow, the cojones you needed for this job, holy smokes. I mentioned the Colosseum earlier and how these gladiators would battle each other. Well, a lot of the times they would battle tigers. Like, you know, tigers and other fierce animals. Anything with big faces and teeth and claws, they would have to fight them for a spectacle. But these animals needed to get into the Colosseum somehow, right? They didn't just waltz in there. Well, that's where you would come in, like Chris Pratt from Jurassic World. What a terrible gig. You're like, hey, come on, holy man.
I know it's gonna be a little silly in the video, but doing it here in person when no one's here and then having to like walk back on, can feel more stupid in the job. But you know what? It's all for you. Hit that thumbs up. I'm walking off, making a fool for you, all right? Editors don't even put it in. They're like, it didn't work. I don't know.
For Roman games, this was a dangerous job. It was also quite prestigious. Handlers would risk maulings and often fatal injuries, and the job required constant vigilance and bravery, as any mistake could obviously be your last. People have snakes, you know what I mean? People have snakes in their homes that just like wrap around. No way. Are you a snake person? Comment down below so we can ban you from the channel. Just kidding. Number 2, Charioteer. Yes, the Charioteer. So fast, so noble, until they hit a rock and it's all over. Although charioteers could achieve significant fame and fortune and all that, profession was full of danger. This was horrible. It's like riding in an ATV at full speed. This is really dangerous. High-speed races often resulted in serious injuries or death from crashes. I mean, to be fair, it looks like the most dangerous thing on the planet. But that's why spectators would travel far and wide. They wanted to witness these crashes in person. Somebody smashes into another and the crowd goes wild. There we go, ancient Rome, spectacle, loud noises. We love it, let's go home. The intense competition and the political implications of these races would only add to the stress and danger of the job. There's also not much you could do. Okay. Hope these horses know what they're doing. And finally, number 1, grave digger. Grave diggers worked in the most somber environments of cemeteries, often at night to avoid the heat of the day, which only added to the spookiness of it. They not only dug graves, but sometimes they had to deal with the emotional task of moving bodies which could be decomposed already or horribly disfigured. Just had to gather all those parts and all right, we're gonna go to this one now. The job also carried a social stigma associated with death and the diseased. Now, the job to many is the worst on this list, but at least you're alone, it's dark out, so you're not dying in the sun all day long. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. I would rather dig up bodies than deal with a tiger, you know what I mean? What about you guys? If you had to do one job on this list, what would you pick? Comment down below, because I want to hear your logic on this one. This is a very hard list to rank, if you know what I'm saying. Until next time, I'm Taylor McWaters. Thanks for joining us on B, and we'll see you again sometimes very soon. Bye. Of Rome's extensive sewer system. Yikes, good luck clearing that blockage. See ya. Extensive sewer system. Extensive sewer system. There we go. Nothing like not talking all day and then all of a sudden I say extensive sewer system. It's like, oh, we're up. And back in ancient Rome, sorry, just getting possessed there. And back in ancient Rome, they didn't have any N95 masks.